Important warning: this instruction is meant for professional espresso machine technicians and should not be used without consulting the appropriate manual. Use caution when operating and maintaining the machine. Watch out for hot surfaces. In this video, we will show you a simple tutorial on how to install the Slim Jim Idrocompresso. First, unpack your Slim Jim Idrocompresso by removing all protective materials. It requires force to pull the lever. For easiest operation, it is advised to have the center of the handle at approximately the same height of the operator's eyes. Ideal bar height thus depends on average length of the operator, but in general will be about 5 centimeters lower than standard operated espresso machines. For example, when the operator is 175 centimeters tall, the ideal bar height will be 85 centimeters. Part 1. Connect water. The installation process starts with connecting the machine to the water supply. Water quality changes from location to location, so have a local water expert help you to decide what water treatment system is needed. Connect the water treatment system to the water mains. Note that the water treatment system and any required hoses are not included in the shipment. Make sure the water treatment system has been flushed according to the manufacturer's specifications. Now unpack the Idrocompresso handle and lever pin from the box. First, screw the lever release pin in the group and tighten with spanner 8. Then mount the lever with handle over the pin. Attach the waste pipe to the drain. Use the clamp supplied to fix the hose to the waste pipe. Ensure that the hose runs downwards over its entire length, not only from machine through the counter, but also under the countertop to the drain. Now close water mains. Part 2. Pump. As standard, the Slim Jim Idrocompresso comes without external pump. The machine is equipped with a one-way valve that prevents water flowing back to the pump. A separate one-way valve and 3/8 of an inch socket is supplied with the machine. Mount the separate one-way valve with 3/8 of an inch socket to the inlet of the pressure reducer. Use Loctite 542 to seal. Tighten both connections. The hose supplied has a straight fitting on one end and an elbow fitting on the other. Depending on the placement of the pump, the hose can be connected in either way. Use one of the supplied hoses to connect the water treatment system to the inlet on the pressure reducer. Mount the high-pressure hose that is connected to the machine onto the outlet of the pressure reducer. Use an open-ended spanner to tighten all connections just made. Open the water mains. As there now is water mains pressure onto the machine, the coffee boilers will start to fill while compressing the air inside the coffee system. Part 3. Installation of the Slim Jim Idrocompresso with optional pump. Proceed with Part 4 if you do not wish to install a pump. When water pressure could fall below 3 bar at any time, it is advised to install the optional pump. In this video, we will proceed using the pump. Close water mains. The arrows on the pump indicate where the treated water enters and where the pressurized water exits the pump. Remove the caps from the fittings on the pump. Mount the separate one-way valve with 3/8 inch socket to the inlet of the pump. Use Loctite 542 to seal. And tighten the connections. The hoses supplied have a straight fitting on one end and an elbow fitting on the other. Depending on the placement of the pump, the hose can be connected in either way. Use one of the supplied hoses to connect the water treatment system to the fitting on the pump with the arrow pointing down. Tighten the connections. Now attach the short high-pressure hose to the outlet on the pump, the one with the arrow pointing upwards. Tighten all connections just made using spanner size 21. Connect this hose from the pump to the pressure reducer. Mount the high-pressure hose that is connected to the machine onto the outlet of the pressure reducer. Use open-ended spanners to tighten all connections just made. The pressure reducer comes with a bracket which can be used to position it securely. Open the water mains. As there now is water mains pressure onto the machine, the coffee boilers will start to fill while compressing the air inside the coffee system. Before continuing, check for leaks at all connections just made and tighten if necessary. Part 4. Connect electrical supply. Before going any further, ensure that the machine is switched off. The toggle lever of the main switch on the right-hand side should point down. Everything switched off? Ask a local electrician to continue with the following. All the electrical connections must be made by a qualified electrician and the main supply prepared before installation. For more information, refer to the installation guide. The electrician can now connect the female plug on the pump cable to the male plug at the pump. Tighten the plugs by hand. The electrician can now connect the machine to the main supply, using either a wall-mounted connection box or a suitable plug. The phases must be connected correctly to avoid damage. Part 5. Filling up. Once all the electrical connections are made, continue with filling the machine. Make sure the pressure reducer is open. Check if the steam valves are closed. Make sure the heat toggle switches are all off, pointing downwards. Turn the machine on by setting the right-hand side toggle switch upwards. The display will show a startup window with software version information and then turn to standby. Touch the center button on the controller's touchpad to get the machine in operational mode. After a few seconds, the boilers start to fill. After approximately 120 seconds, the valves close. This is a built-in safety measure and can be seen by the blinking lights or under the Bastogne levers. Reset the machine by setting the main switch toggle on the right-hand side downwards and wait for the displays to go blank. Then turn the main switch upwards again. Touch the center button on the controller's touchpad to get the machine in operational mode. The filling will continue after a few seconds. After the machine has stopped filling, activate each group to bleed air out of the system. The groups need to be repeatedly activated until water runs freely. Part 6. Heating up. Switch all 3 heat toggle switches on by setting the levers upwards. The boiler now starts to heat up and the temperature readings on the display will increase. This takes about 15 minutes. You could use the remaining heat-up time to set a few parameters in the technician level of the controller. For example, filling in the service telephone number or adjusting the level probe sensitivity, depending on water quality. The machine is at operational temperature when the display indicates 125 degrees Celsius or 257 degrees Fahrenheit of steam temperature and 93 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Fahrenheit for each group. Now open the steam valve and let it steam for about 15 seconds to bleed the remaining air out of the system. To adjust the pressure reducer pressure, back pressure at the group is required. This is provided by a blind filter, so prepare a filter holder with a blind filter and lock it into the group. Flush both groups. Pull the brew levers into locking position and wait until pressure is stable. Make a note of the pressure displayed on the pressure gauge. We suggest to start brewing with the pressure reducer set to 3 bar. If that seems to be too high or low, adjust the pressure up or down according to your liking. Lock the knob, pushing downwards. If necessary, you can adjust the drip tray height by gently lifting the drip tray and slide it into the ideal height for the cups you are using. Part 7. Adjust the spring pressure to even out pressure between groups. Fill a portafilter equipped with blind filter and lock it into the groups. Flush both groups. Pull the brew levers into locking position. Wait until pressure is stable, then unlock. The brew lever should remain in slightly elevated position and feel firm when pushed up. If not, repeat the previous steps. Make a note of the pressure displayed on the pressure gauge. Determine what group to adjust and use the spring adjusting tool to move the disc up or downwards. Normally, you will increase the lower pressure until it matches the highest pressure. Now stop the extraction by pulling the Bastogne levers so the group levers go back to its resting position. You are now ready to pull shots.